Well, Tom and Ben from Tapestry are here with me, Tiana, for Good Things Festival. Now, hailing from Darwin, but now based in Melbourne, obviously flying a flag for a few different places and Australia as well, which is awesome. But tell me first and foremost, how is Team Tapestry feeling being officially part of the Killer Good Things Festival 2023 lineup?
Honestly, like being a band from Darwin, it's something that we never would have thought would have ever been a thing. So we're like over the moon to be involved. It's super sick.
Yeah, especially like not really seeing any bands ahead of us really doing this sort of caliber of festival in Australia. And I guess, I don't know, maybe being the first, or at least being like sort of a leading forefront in, especially being a heavy band as well, coming out of such a small town or remote town. It's been a kind of cool thing to achieve just in itself, really. So, very excited.
Yeah, it's so exciting to see, because obviously people forget, like, touring is obviously difficult at the moment, regardless of where you're from, but people do forget you guys can't just hop in a van and, drive 8 hours to the next capital city. Like, there's a lot of factors at play. So it's just super exciting to see how much amazing music there is there, though, as well. Like, it's awesome, especially in heavy scenes. We're starting to see a lot more of that. So you're not only repping that, obviously repping a bit of awesome post-hardcore and beyond at Good Things, but it's not your first festival rodeo. So tell me, in 2023, what can we expect from a Tapestry festival set? I know we've also got a brand new album, The Pain You Desire, The Love You Deserve. What's the set list forecast looking like?
I think we're going to bring a bit more of the higher energy stuff from the record, like just being a festival slot. We want it to feel a bit more energetic, because like the album has all sorts of kind of genres melded into it, I guess. So I think we're definitely going to lean towards a more higher energy side of things.
I think almost that gives your name even more relevance, because obviously listening to that album, like, not to be cliched, but it is such a tapestry of sounds. Like, and I love I know, it's lame, I had to do it. It just sorry, I'm sorry. But like, it's cool because you guys are a band. Like, you can say what your influences and all those kind of things are, but you can't pigeonhole Tapestry into being one type of band, and that's kind of reflected in the bands that you've toured with as well. Like, we've got Thornhill, Monument, Polaris. You also got up at Unify with like Ghost Inside Architects and North Lane. So let's talk live music then, because we have a lot of memories. Like, what is a live or onto a moment for the Tapestry journey so far that you guys will never forget? And it can be good, it can be other. Like, what's something that just springs to mind?
I think one of them was the first time we played with Polaris in so we did a tour with Polaris a while ago now, about 5 or so years ago.
The EP one or the album?
Like
when we did the Perth
the Mortal Core tour.
Oh yes, the
Mortal Core tour. And we stepped onto the Brisbane stage, which I think was
Triffid.
The Triffid. And just seeing, like, standing on such a big stage, looking out at such a big room with so many people coming from, like, I think we were selling out like maybe 200 cap rooms max in Darwin, maybe 300, and then walking into what would be 1,000 people was like,
that was mental. And we'd also like just driven for like 3 days straight from Darwin. We decided not to fly it, so like to drive that long to go to that kind of show was like a massive pivotal point for us. Like, it was mental. Living out that we all watched the Parkway Drive video like a million times and seeing them like camping out and stuff, and we're like, this is what we're gonna do. So that's exactly what we did. We just chucked this just chucked this in the van, and we would pull over to the side of the road on the side of the night and just light a fire and cook snags.
I mean, it's almost a documentary in itself, but obviously you had a goal that you had to get to, so we can't be stopping. But what do you guys do in those kind of like lengthy moments? Because obviously, like, they're few and far between, being a bit closer now, but like, what do you guys do when you're on the road? Do you stick to yourselves? Do you have a little playlist going? What's the Tapestry behind the scenes when you are trekking between all of these shows?
I think like a reoccurring thing is there's always like a throwback. Like, if I can think back to like being in the van with Thornhill, being in the van with Vacant Home when we did a tour with them, being in the van by ourselves, we always do big throwbacks. So like, there's always like an Asking Alexandria day. Of like,
or it goes like Tenacious D or like all that kind of stuff as well. And
we're big like sing along in the car driving people.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I like on the way down here I actually blew out my voice one time because we were singing in the car.
I couldn't talk by the time we got to Melbourne.
Did you sing? What blew it out?
Just singing for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
Like,
that'll do it.
and you're not even like, you're not belting, but you're just constantly singing, and then you get to where you're going to and you're like, oh, I actually just don't have a voice anymore.
Sorry guys, I was singing Tenacious D all day, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's everyone would understand and they'd forgive, because of course that's gonna happen.
Yeah. You can't not sing along to that stuff.
Right, it'd be rude not to.
Touring as well, so like we didn't like we'd just playing like shows like they had weeks or months of separation, so not knowing that you have to conserve yourself a little bit on tour was a bit of a eye-opener.
yeah realizing you have to like pump the brakes and actually look after yourself.
Yeah, but it's that rite of passage. Hey, I mean, how else do you discover it until you have to do it? Because it's so exciting, so you get caught up in all of that, so it's, and then you learn, hopefully. Eventually.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we go back, sometimes we go forward, it's fine. But tell me as well, you've had a crazy busy year and you're going to continue to do so. You're obviously going to be supporting upcoming. You've got Young Lions for their Burn 10-year anniversary tour. You also had an album preview show to celebrate your brand new Sonic Baby. I don't want to give everything away because obviously Good Things is a huge milestone that we're leading up to. But what else in the not too distant future for you guys is on the cards? Like, you've packed in a lot this year. How are we going to continue to do so?
Yeah, I think for like this year, basically what we've announced is what we're doing. There's a lot of stuff on the cards for early next year. That's obviously not announced yet. But yeah, for this year, like basically we're doing the Young Lions tour and Good Things, and then that's pretty much us for the year. We're like just putting all of our focus on, just nailing Good Things and just making it the best we can be.
Yeah.
Oh yes, and I think that's a perfect segue back to Good Things. It's obviously inching closer and closer. I saw a Christmas tree last week at Big W and just was may as well, we're at this point. So December seemed a hell of a lot closer, but in and amongst this incredible stacked lineup, who are you guys most excited to catch live and or potentially spend some time with? Like, is there any bands you haven't seen yet you want to tick off the bucket list, or what are we thinking in regards to that?
You go first.
Limp Bizkit's obviously going to be a good one. Fall Out Boy is like the reason I wanted to be in a band, so that's always cool. I can remember like sitting in my cousin's car when I was like, I don't know, like 11, 12 years old, listening to like Dance Dance and This Ain't a Scene, like just being like, okay, I want to be in like a heavy band, or like a rock band of sorts, you know what I mean? But it's like we got Bloom on there, which we love hanging out with. We hang out with them on the weekends. Ocean Sleeper are very good friends of ours ever since we did our first show with them like 5 or 6 years. We don't even know how long.
2016 maybe.
Yeah, we did like a competition to be on a show, and then we were like head against each other to get on a show. And then once we got there, we were like, oh, we are all very alike. And it's been like good friends ever since.
There's a lot of friends on the lineup, which we're like super stoked about. Which will make it a bit easier as well. Like obviously there's going to be a lot of people and like just such a high profile thing that we've never really done before. So I think it'll help having friends there. I think me personally, like I'm actually really excited to see Sepultura, purely because of the drummer. I've been following him for a long time. So yeah, they're one of the bands I'm super excited to see.
Yeah, I feel like it's sometimes good. I was saying to Josh from Magnolia Park when we were chatting, it's almost good sometimes, even though it's busy being the ends on the bill where you have to go back to back to back, it gives you a little bit more time because you can't always squash everyone into the one day. So hopefully by the end of the 3 days, you've ticked off, or at least, got most of your bucket list off there.
Yeah. I think that helps. That definitely helps. Yeah.
Well, you kind of already touched on already, because I was going to chat to you about, because Good Things obviously has a bit of a theme of nostalgia kicking around this year, and it sounds like Fall Out Boy were pretty up there in terms of a band who played a big part in it. But are there any other bands for each of you who is, pretty iconic in who you are as a musician today and what kickstarted your love for music?
Oh, I think for me, like early days, Bullet for My Valentine was like kind of like that turning point band where like I was not super into heavy music, and then I found like the Poison record and stuff like that, and that really like changed stuff for me. So like definitely that's a huge one for me, like nostalgic.
I'd have to say the same. Same thing. Like they came, like it was Metallica came, and then bands like Bullet for My Valentine was the next in the sort of transition.
It was that turning point for sure.
It was the singing, it was the screaming, it was the fast drums, the guitar riffs.
But we'll have to send them a thank you for the continuing success of Tapestry and for you guys continuing with this. So I'll make a note.
Please do.
Let them know.
Well, to start to close us out today, it's not your, as we've said, it's not your first time, it's not your first shows, it's not your first festival, but what do you guys do to get yourselves gig fit before a festival show in particular? Like, how will you be prepping for good things? And are there any pre-show Tapestry rituals that you stick to before shows like this?
We don't really have many like dedicated rituals before a show, do we? We just kind of do our own thing and get ready.
Nothing
too exciting, like just warming up.
It's smart.
Eat food.
Actually, like food is a massive one for me. Like if I don't eat, I can't concentrate. So that would be a big thing for sure.
Ritual panic.
It's crazy, hey, when you start to get that lull and then you eat food, you're like, oh my god, why didn't I do this like 3 hours ago?
Big time.
Very, very good response, and a good note for all of us to not be hangry and to get ourselves sorted. But lastly, that's it. Get your shit together and get some food. But lastly, what for each of you is an essential festival item that you always have with you to ensure the good times keep on rolling? So it can be either something that you need to have if you're playing, or it could be something you need as a punter.
I don't know.
It's different every time. Always about a little bag.
It's always like little backpack. So like if I'm like going into the crowd, like I can put my phone and like wallet and stuff in there. Like
not a white t-shirt.
Not a white t-shirt.
You made that mistake. Once.
I've made that mistake once, and never again have I done that.
I have also made that mistake.
Don't like being sober.
What's
usually. So beer's usually a good one.
Beer's usually
that's my biggest necessity.
Especially when you've got 3 days. I think it's something just you need whatever it takes to get you over the line, especially. Oh, that's awesome, guys. Well, it's so exciting to see you on this bill. It's going to be an incredible couple of days. There's a little bit still to go, and I know you guys have a few more things that you're going to be doing before then, but we're so excited that you will be bringing the good times in December, and thank you so much for the chat today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us.
Cheers for having us.